Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and on this week's episode I am test driving and reviewing the brand new Mustang. So what do I think? So after an initial drive of this beautiful car, now I've traditionally driven the traditional Mustangs out in the States. This one though, as you can see, the sheer presence of this looks, whilst it keeps that feel and that lovely sort of feel of original Mustang, whilst bringing that modern sort of tone to it. So actually, like as you can see along the bottom here, the traditional sort of Mustang logo, but all of this, what I like about this is that the fact that the company has not put anything on the front here like some car companies usually do. They usually put a grille in there for no reason. Ford hasn't done that. I like the shape of this, I like the style. It's kept the real sort of traditional Ford Mustang look at the front, and that goes the same at the back. So let's take a look around the back. So let's take a look around the back. Very traditional Mustang back looking of the car. I just think it looks fantastic. It's got that nice wide kind of muscle car. This is an all-wheel drive version. So this has the increased range of 300 plus miles, 4 motors as well, so front and back. So this is one of the topper end sort of models, but it's particularly nice. The size of the boot is pretty massive, so there's no problems there in terms of space. Auto boot closing, which is really nice. So let's take a look around the side. So I would say the side is my least favourite, and not because it's a bad looking car, generally because it's not very Mustang-y. The front and the back are very Mustang. Traditional Mustang learns through its roots. The side is kind of more of a big bulky kind of modern SUV. So, but it doesn't distract it from too much. So if you take a proper look, wheels are particularly good sizes. I like it. I really like it. So open the door with one of the buttons up here. A bit different. I'm going to try and sit in the back so you can see. I mean, for me, there's a reasonable amount of room, but then I'm very short and small. But this panoramic roof at the top does give you that extra bit of height as well. But not a huge amount of room in the back, but enough, I think, for a couple of adults in the back or a kid. So we can see 96%, 281 miles. Big entertainment system. Not a fan of this. This is your volume button essentially. But I do like the screen. Very responsive, which is really nice. Maps tells you about charging stations. Apple Connect CarPlay. Tyre pressures. There we go. All at the easy sort of Android Auto as well. Gives you some trip mileage stuff on there. Let's see, so we've got 360 cameras, which again is really nice. So that's a really nice sort of feature and a nice display. We've got it on untamed mode, whisper mode and active mode. Let's have a look, see what these are. So untamed mode, exhilarating drive, machine, road aligned as one. Whisper is seamless drive, calm and quiet. And then balanced drive, fun. Yeah, I think we'll have untamed. Down here you've got a, let's see if this, I don't know whether this is a wireless charging hub or not. Let's try and see if my phone works. I don't know whether it will. It says it's got a charging thing on it. I don't know whether it'll go through my, yep, so that my phone's charging. So that's a wireless charging pad, which is really cool. I like that. Then we've got obviously cup holders in here. You've got your drive select button, which is, you know, is quite nice. It's quite similar to some of the other cars. Park hazard lights under here. Armrest. We've got another big cubby hole, so plenty of space there. As you can see, there's plenty of space in the bins. Everything's got a nice feel to the materials. Nothing in here kind of feels cheap or plasticky. So, Ford Mustang Mach E. Now, I drove some traditional Mustangs quite a few years ago now, when I was out in the States. And this certainly has got the size of one of those. And it's certainly got the feel of the Mustang. So even getting in for the first time and looking at the car for the first time, what's instantly strikeable about the car is how much they're trying to stick to the Mustang roots. A kind of a big presence when you see it. This is something quite special, really. I'm not sure really what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting quite as good as this. So we're going to take it a little bit out for a ride. So before I get started, really big shout out to Paul at Gates in Stevenage, Ford's Gates in Stevenage. So what do I think of the drive? Well, so it has one pedal braking, which is great. Used to that in the i3, and most electric cars have that now. It's got looks like driver assist, so I can feel the steering wheel wanting to kind of help me out, which I'm not overly used to in the i3, but other cars obviously do have that. Acceleration wise, let's take a look. Yeah, that's got some punch. So it's got, whilst you don't have the roar of a traditional Mustang, this has certainly got the power, obviously. But so far this isn't a slouch. This car does not, it's just really pokey, if that's a thing. The way this feels is quite unique, actually, because outside the car is quite a big looking car. It's got presence, the front, the back. It has got that traditional Mustang kind of look. But inside, it's modern, sleek. It's a good looking car, to be fair. And like I said, when you put your foot down, that little kitty cat roars. So yeah, it's a very, very nice car. But it's kind of nice, actually. I think it's got the best of both worlds. It's got, you know, the stuff that you'd hope. Now, I think if you're an American coming from a traditional Mustang, you may kind of put your nose up at an electric Mustang. But if you're not, this car is pretty special, if I'm honest. With a decent range, all the mod cons that you'd think of, you know, I mean, okay, it hasn't got things like you know, auto driving and things like that, but like, you know, even the Tesla isn't quite perfect at that yet. But this has got enough to make it that much kind of, I don't know, just a really solid feel. When I drive it, nothing feels rattly. There's no cheapness about this. Everything inside looks premium. The infotainment screen inside is massive. I would say probably even bigger than a Tesla. It's a vertical rather than a horizontal. I quite like that. I think it's got enough with the smaller display at the front, with your speed, your controls and a few bits, and your percentage of your battery and things like that, which I'm sure can be adjusted. And a big dial at the bottom, which I must admit I'm not a fan of. There's a dial right in the middle of right in the bottom of the middle of the screen. The screen is clear, it's bright, it's big. Everything is within a good reach of your hand. Now, I think, you know, like if you've never had to use a screen like this before, i.e. you come from a traditional car, then maybe it may be an adjustment, because usually you're used to reaching for a button and just pressing that and just automatically kind of knowing where it is. But I think you'll get used to that in general, and I think that's, you know, that's a general thing for all electric cars that have got big screens in the middle. But actually, for functionality and everything, it's got everything you need there. So we're just going around a few smaller places at the moment, some sort of smaller roads. See how the handling is. And I must say, like, round some of, you know, some tight little roundabouts and things like that, it does handle particularly well around corners. It sticks to the road. It's very clingy. So, you know, it's not trying to do too much, but it holds you to that corner, which is exactly what you want with a car with this much power. So speed wise, 0 to 60 I believe is 6 seconds. So, you know, again, you don't need a 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. You really don't. 0 to 60 is more than quick enough, and I can certainly say that this has got the power you need if you want to get off the line in a hurry. It's not going to muck around. But at the same time, you know, going around little traditional sort of British country roads, this handles just fine. So you've got the best of both. Now, anyone that's driven a traditional Mustang will know it's weighty. Apart from the new ones that might have power steering, but they didn't have power steering in the old traditional ones. It was like moving a tank. It was a gorgeous tank, but it was like moving a tank. But, you know, realistically, this is got tradition and modern in one package, which, what's not to love? There's very little road noise. There's a tiny bit, but not so much that you'd really be bothered. Which makes the driving experience that much nicer when you're driving. Now, looking over the bonnet is particularly big, and like I think it's more for me is that this is how I remember sort of some of the cars, or some of the older cars. It's not you know, like the i3, like it just slopes down the front. There's very barely any bonnet. The boot space in this thing is huge. It's absolutely massive. There's more than enough room for anything, I think, in there, and if you put the seats down, it's ginormous, so no problems there. Obviously, the good thing about electric cars, battery being all the way along the bottom, the manufacturers can play around with things a bit better, and they can, you know, give you more space inside and things like that. So that's always a nice welcome. Yep, brakes work really well. Guy in front of me just braked too hard. But from so far, I could certainly see this being one of the contenders of the next car from my i3. It's got the space that we need inside. It's got the range that we more than need. I mean, even if this done on a good day 220 miles, it's more than enough for what I need. But I must admit, this is a very, very surprising car. And I say surprising, not because I thought it was going to be a bad car by any means. But traditionally, when you have traditional motor companies that go into the electric market or want to make their first electric car, generally their first thought is, we'll just stick a battery on a traditional car, and the problems that come with that, as you know, anyone that watches my channel or other people's channel knows, that it comes with all the baggage that you had on the traditional car, whether that be weight or design or space or whatever it may be. Building it from the ground up for electric makes that so much better, and you can tell as soon as you get into an electric car that's built from the ground up, you know exactly how that's been designed. Otherwise, the drive, I feel, is just fantastic. But off the line, it's very nice. But you can't deny this, the heritage of Ford, and indeed what they've tried to do with the Mustang. You know, it handles particularly well, good on corners, good on speed. The handling in terms of that auto sort of correction isn't actually as prominent as what sometimes it normally is. Sometimes you get cars with that, and it tries to fight you to desperately get you back onto sort of the right track. This isn't. This just gives you little kind of nods and little nudges and things, just to sort of, you know, help you out, and it's not too intrusive, which is really nice. So I do like that it remembers your seat when you get back in and you power it back on. It's a really nice feature. So, a little nice start-up sound. I don't know if you heard that or not. Really cool. Right, let's take it back to the dealer, otherwise I might get in trouble. But all in all, I must say I am very, very impressed with this. Just going over a few bumps, trying to mind out for some pigeons. Again, massive shout out to Paul at Gates in Stevenage, Ford Gates in Stevenage. Much appreciated the test drive. I think it's a fantastic car. I think Ford have done what I hoped they would do, and what I hope a lot of other traditional manufacturers would do, is that build a ground up, fun and exciting electric car, and that is exactly what they've done. This is, you know, this is something, if you want the balance between something that can act as a family car and something that you want to go out and have a little excitement in a car. Like I said, this isn't a slouch in terms of performance. This has got the punch where it needs to have the punch. It's got the bells and whistles that you'd want in an electric car. So if you're a geekhead like me, it's got all the bits you need. It's got, you know, it's got the decent range. It's got clear displays. It's got a big display in the middle. I'm not a fan of many buttons anymore, as those that watch the channel will know. It does everything and does it right. What I can say is that thoroughly enjoyed my time with this Mustang. It gave me a little bit of nostalgia back to when I drove the traditional Mustangs out in the States, which is a really nice sort of thing to have. And this is definitely on one of the run-ins, along with a couple of other cars, for my next car. Thank you very much for everyone for watching. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to click the subscribe, the notification bell icon. If you want to help fund things like this, because you know, it does pre-collision assist, which I was nowhere near the car, but there you go. Then check out my Buy Me a Coffee page. That just goes in some way to donate to the channel, so we can continue to do things like this. And until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye everyone.
He said, I like the car.
So do I.